welcome to Good Game Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Brush off your badges, stash your escape ropes, and prepare your Pokeballs, because we're reviewing Pokemon X and Y.
Bajo, I hope you know your Pumpkaboo from your Froakie.
Darren, I even know my Slurpath. But we're going to give your eyes a break from the pocket monsters and have a look at some creative mobile games.
Blah, blah, blah.
Darren, Hex, a wild news appears.
Good luck, Bajo.
And he disappears into the long grass.
What's your favourite Pokemon, Darren?
Tough call. Probably Psyduck.
I like Dragonair, but I think Lickitung is a bit weird.
Bajo here with the Spawn Point news from around the world. Nintendo has officially ended production of the Wii console. The little console originally launched in 2006 and went on to create a motion control craze. During its life, it sold over 100 million units, making it the best-selling system of the current generation consoles and the 5th best-selling console of all time. The Australian Interactive Games and Entertainment Association has released its yearly Digital Australia report analysing Australian gaming habits. Interesting facts from the report show that 71% of households now have 2 or more gamers, while 98% of households with children have computer games. It also showed that 47% of gamers are female, the average Aussie gamer is 32 years old, and over 80% of mums and dads play games. And that's the news for this week.
Of all the Star Wars races, I like the Twi'leks the most.
Admit it, you just like the outfits.
All right, well, it's been a while since we've done a mobile roundup, so why don't we start with Star Wars Tiny Death Star. This is pretty much Tiny Tower with a Star Wars skin over it, but does that make it a good game?
For those who've never played Tiny Tower, you simply build a tower, or Death Star in this case, full of apartments and businesses. Then you assign residents to work in the businesses while making sure they have stock to sell. And that's about it, really.
There aren't many new features here. Perhaps the biggest is that players can now build secret Imperial rooms below their tower. Special supply officers will occasionally arrive at your Death Star, and you can use them to construct items which can then be assembled for prizes.
Yeah, and the prizes are kind of iconic Death Star locations, like the interrogation room and tractor beam that you want to build. But other than those occasional prizes, they don't earn you any money. So really the Death Star just turns into a scheme to fund your Imperial rooms.
Other than that, you can also now save up to 5 VIPs in your lobby to use whenever you like. And you occasionally get treated to some adorable little scenes that play out. There also seems to be a point where you can complete construction on the Death Star, but we didn't have time to get that far, so we don't know what happens when you do.
Oh, I hope you get to fire the station's planet-destroying giant laser! But really, the main thing you do in this game is wait. Restocking shops can take anywhere from minutes to hours, and building new floors takes longer and longer with each new floor. And sadly, the dark side is strong with microtransactions.
Yes, Darren, when I saw that $100 premium bundle in there, I blew a gasket. Do you know what that looks like?
Negative. He showed us anyway.
Yeah, wow.
If any grown-ups out there are worried about it, you might want to turn off in-app purchases to be safe.
Of course, you can play through the entire game if you're patient enough without spending any money. I thought this was a fun distraction, but not much more than that, so I'm giving it 6.5.
I just like seeing all the Star Wars characters in 8-bit, and it's almost worth it for the music, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens. Now, let's stick with the space theme for our second game. Rabbids Big Bang lets you launch those pesky wabbits into orbit. Then you get to fly them around between planets with a jetpack, outer space, and jetpacks. What a combo! Well played, game.
You know, for such a cute-looking game, I found this surprisingly hard. You're often asked to get to a distant part of the mini-solar system to orbit another planet. But the tricky thing is you spend most of the time aiming at something that's not even on screen. Plus, to make it even harder, you have to get there by looping around planets.
Being a veteran astronaut, I can tell you that this has all the right ingredients, from limited fuel to burn times and orbital trajectories. But the game tries to wrap it all into overly simple controls. You just tap the screen to fire your jetpack and that's it. Worst of all, the physics felt more like random luck than rocket science. Outrageous!
Yes, I really wanted to like this, but I felt whenever I passed a mission, it was mainly because of luck than actual skill. So I'm giving it 5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It really missed the mark, didn't it? I'm giving it 4. All right, next up we've got Monster Meltdown. A bunch of monsters have escaped from the lab, and the only one around to capture them is the janitor, Yuri. Luckily, the lab also has a teleporter, and this is the core gimmick the game is built around.
Now, Yuri can't teleport monsters wherever he likes, because that would make it a super easy game for noobs.
Or for Bajos.
No. Yuri has to be smarter than that and lure the monsters towards the exit by letting them chase him, then teleport himself out of the way at the last second. And of course, there are challenges in the way, and it's instant death if you touch a monster or one of these laser walls.
Those aren't lasers. They are clearly polarized force fields. Any robot with a working CPU could tell you that.
Thanks, Darren. I like that there was a whole range of different monsters, each with their own quirks. As well as the mean ones that chase you, these scaredy cats run away, so you need to herd them in the right direction. And these guys must just have too much energy because they keep walking around and ignoring you.
Yeah, I found it pretty easy to figure out those monster behaviors. The game's real challenge comes from the level layout. You'll find plenty of tough spots like doors you can only open by getting a monster to trigger a switch or power a generator. I thought this was a really smart puzzler, and I like the look of the game too, so I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I found myself going for all those extra challenges, like the levels that have a really tiny number of teleports. Also, Monster Meltdown is a free game without any microtransactions, so it gets an 8 from me.
All right, you two, if you've finished reviewing, evacuate the studio or sit tight and put your fingers in your ears because I'm about to disrupt the space-time continuum.
Oh no, I'm out of here.
Why fingers in my ears, Darren? I don't understand.
Well, that's to stop the microscopic time spiders from getting into your brain. Manipulating time! Entering time vortex! It is now April 2009. It's the International Year of Astronomy. An outbreak of swine flu is deemed a global pandemic. Paleontologists have discovered Ardipithecus ramidus, the oldest fossil of a human ancestor yet found. Taylor Swift has hit #1 with Love Story. And a first-person game of mining through blocks is taking the internet by storm. That game is Infiniminer. Made by Zachary Barth, the creator of Space Chem, Infiniminer was a competitive mining game. The idea was that teams would race to dig out the most precious metals, but players found it was much more fun to build things. Infiniminer inspired budding game designer Marcus Notch Pearson, who had been toying around with an idea for a base-building, zombie fighting game. The first-person view and building blocks were the final ingredients he needed, and by May 2009, he had created the first prototypes for Minecraft, the game which made him a millionaire. Zach gave up on Infiniminer just 1 month after it launched, but Notch saw Minecraft through to the end. In game development, as in life, persistence is the key to success. Never give up. Well, time to return to the present day.
Okay, let's get into these questions. And first up, we've got this one from Funky Banana in Bananaville, New South Wales.
How'd you get to be so funky?
I don't know. Dear Good Game, I'm a real Pokemon fan, but I don't have a 3DS to play Poke games on. X and Y, Black and White, etc. Then I saw an advertisement about a new Nintendo 2DS where you can play 3DS games in 2D. Does this mean that Pokemon games will come to Wii U? Please respond.
Well, Funky, that's an interesting leap of logic there, but I'm sorry to say it's quite unlikely because they've never brought the handheld versions of Pokemon onto a home console before.
But the Wii U does already have a Pokemon game called Pokemon Rumble U, which is an eShop download. We haven't played it ourselves, but we've heard it's not that great. Certainly not as good as X and Y.
I'm pretty sure the Wii U will get some more Pokemon games in the future, but nothing has been officially announced yet.
All right, well, let's move on to this one from YOLO Swag in Innisfail, Queensland. Hello, good game. I'm 12 and like shooting and racing games. What games like that are coming for the PS4? And will you need Wi-Fi for the PS4? Thanks, please answer. PS, I don't like Darren. He's not real. Love you guys, and I watch your show every week.
Well, Mr. Swag, we'd say most of the shooters coming to the PS4 are a bit too mature for a 12-year-old, but there are some more arcade shooters like Resogun and Galax Z, which are looking like quite a bit of fun.
As for races, well, you'll have a few options to choose from with Need for Speed Rivals coming out this year, and there's also Drive Club and The Crew, which will be coming out next year, and there might be a PS4 version of Gran Turismo 6 in the works, though we're just guessing there.
Yeah. You might also want to keep an eye out for War Thunder, which is a free-to-play game where you get to fly about in old warplanes and take out other pilots, and we really liked it when it came out for PC. I think it's really fun.
And no, you won't need Wi-Fi for the PS4. You can use a good old-fashioned blue Ethernet cable if you want, but it will have built-in Wi-Fi as well.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure Darren is real, otherwise we've just been imagining a robot for the last few years. He is real, right, Hex? You see him too?
Of course he's real. He's a little bit too real, if you ask me. Let's move on to this one, though, from Gorilla Man, who is nowhere yet everywhere in New South Wales.
Hi GGSP, I bought Mater so I could play the Cars campaign, but when I put him on the portal thingy, it wasn't there, so I'm a bit confused.
Yes, well, Gorilla Man, we can see why that might be a bit confusing. So basically the way Disney Infinity works is that while you can buy individual characters, the actual campaigns only come with the playsets.
Yeah, so you need these clear little statues which you get in playsets. When you put these on the base, they let you play that campaign. Without them, you just get to play around with the character in toy box mode.
Yeah, it can start to get quite expensive with all those bits that you're encouraged to buy, but anyway, let's move on to this one from Benjamin, who is in Laidley, Queensland. Dear Good Game SP, I'll make this quick. On your Japan episode, a Vocaloid Hatsune Miku song was played. What was the name of that song? Sincere regards, Benjamin.
Well, we can give you a quick answer to that quick question, Benjamin. The song is called Kochi Mute Baby, and can we have the text spelling up on the screen, please? Oh, there you go.
And I believe that translates to look this way, baby. But moving right along to this one from Minecraft Freak, who is in, I don't know.
It is very easy to get lost in Minecraft.
It is, isn't it?
The other day I just dug straight down. Rookie mistake.
Lava.
Dug down.
Lava.
I didn't hit lava, but I fell in a cave and then I lost all my stuff and I went, ah!
Sometimes I'm digging and then I dig up and then there's lava there and it just falls into, and then I just drown in lava. Rookie mistake also.
These are the games of our lives. Hey, Good Game. I was just wondering, can you play the Wii U screen thingy without having the TV on? P.S. You guys are awesome, but Darren is just a noob. P.P.S. Please let Bajo, Bargo, P.P.P.S. Can Darren laser himself?
You sure can use just the gamepad, Minecraft Freak, although it's worth noting that not all Wii U games actually support off-TV play. Although as far as I can see, there's no info on a game box that tells you whether or not a game supports it.
Yeah, most do though, but it might be worth doing a little bit of research online before buying a game just to make sure that the game you're buying supports it.
Well, another short and sweet answer there, so let's move on to this one from Jacob, who is in Melbourne, Victoria.
Hex, have you noticed that when Goose says Melbourne, he says Melbourne?
Oh, some people from Melbourne do that.
They say Melbourne.
Melbourne, like it's spelt with an A. Sup, Good Game? So I'm a huge KH Kingdom Hearts fan, and when I heard that KH3 was announced, kinda cried a little. So I was wondering, do you have any details about this, such as new features, gameplay, or new or old worlds that you will visit? Also, do you have an exact date as to when KH HD 2.5 Remix is coming out? Thanks, Jacob.
Well, Jacob, we don't know heaps, but from the trailers and interviews we've seen, we can give you a few tidbits. So as far as worlds and locations, Twilight Town is back, Destiny Islands are back, and there's also a Titan from Hercules that we've seen the team fighting, so we'd say Hercules World is probably back too.
It also looks like they're integrating actual rides from Disney World into the gameplay with pirate ships and roller coasters and things like that. And it also seems like the Magic and the Heartless are back as well.
Those Heartless. And there's been a hint that we might even see some Marvel or Star Wars worlds appear. The series producer, Tetsuya Nomura, said he'd love to put those worlds in, but there could be some complications with using the licenses. So that's just a rumor for now. And at the very least, he promised some surprises, though.
As for Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, well, we only have the very vague release date of next year sometime on PS3, so we can't give you an exact date for that yet. But anyway, let's move on to this one from Pokemon Master Glitcher in Cardinia, Western Australia.
Hi Guy, this is not a question but a statement. I got Pokemon X and Y and found out there's a glitch in Lumio City where if you save in certain areas, your save file get corrupt. I would like everyone who watches your to know. Please tell them everything I haven't said. Bajo, do these. Come here. He goes so fancy. This is urgent, so please answer me! Yes, we have heard about that rather nasty glitch, so thanks for the warning there, Mr. Master Glitcher. But the good news is that Nintendo has issued an update that will fix it.
Of course, if for some reason you can't connect your 3DS to the internet to get the patch, then all is not lost, because from what we've heard, it seems to mostly affect your save files if you saved on the boulevard and streets.
Our advice would be to not save in Luminos City at all and just avoid any possibility of that happening. Just go outside the city and save there.
Good advice. There's not many things worse than losing a save file, but on that note, I think we're out of time for this week. So if you've got a question you'd like to ask us, then you can go here and send it in.
All right, back to the studio, Hex.
Woo! So it's time for Pokemon! It's a Pokemon time! So excited! It's finally time to review Pokemon X and Y. The Pokemon games are all about adventure, strategy, collecting, battling, traveling, training and trading. And this time we get to do it in 3D. There's no denying this series has a massive fan base, but Bajo, I don't think I've ever seen you so excited for a Pokemon game.
And with good reason, Hex. I think this game is probably the biggest leap since Gold and Silver, both gameplay-wise and technically.
Well, not everything has changed. You and up to 6 Pokemon still travel from town to town battling other trainers, catching Pokemon, defeating the bad guys and conquering the gym leaders. And any wild Pokemon you encounter in tall grass or caves can be captured in Pokeballs and can then be used in your own party. Plus, fighting attacks are still super effective against rock Pokemon.
And for the first time in years, we have a brand new Pokemon type. Introducing the Fairy Pokemon.
Yeah, fairies.
Very.
It's not quite as silly as it sounds, though. I think the main reason for introducing this new Pokemon type is to balance out the type advantages a bit. Fairy type attacks are super effective against Dragon Pokemon, who in previous games were a bit overpowered. And there's been some other game balancing changes to moves and type advantages as well, so it's nice to see the developers taking the competitive Pokemon scene seriously.
There are now also Mega Evolutions, which at first are a bit of a mystery that propels you through the story, but without giving away everything, it's like a temporary, stronger form that certain Pokemon can take during battle. It's definitely a welcome addition that adds another layer of complexity. But guys, I think we're missing the most fundamental change we've ever seen in a Pokemon game. It's completely transformed the way that we play. You can now move diagonally. Also, there are roller skates you can strap to your shoes that give you full 360-degree movement. Although it can be a little bit clunky to control.
Agreed, but this 360 movement is possible because of the beautiful 3D world they've created. And not just the buildings, but finally, all the people and Pokemon are full 3D models.
The animations are silky smooth, and it's the little touches that make you fall in love with this game. Like the way you bend down to talk to the kids, or how you do a stretch when you aren't doing anything.
Yeah, I spent a good couple of minutes in the game just doing this. Plus, you can change the outfit and the look of your character for the first time in a Pokemon game.
I spent all my money in the first shop on a hat.
But it's in the battles where these 3D models really shine. The way the camera moves and the animations when Pokemon attack just feels like a breath of fresh air for the series. I just love Mr. Mime's animation, even if he is one of the more creepy Pokemon.
But be warned, the frame rate can drop significantly in battles, especially with the stereoscopic 3D turned on.
Yes, and on top of that, Darren, I found the stereoscopic 3D didn't work half the time. It only worked in some locations and even in some battles. I'm not usually a fan of stereoscopic 3D in games anyway, but I think if you're going to put it in your game, put it in properly.
Yeah, it really is a shame, isn't it? That said, Glittering Cave, which did have 3D and used third-person camera, was actually a little scary, especially when you're about to run into a Pokemon and it's just all black. Ah!
And I think this is actually the widest variety of Pokemon we've seen in a game. Each area has almost completely different Pokemon from all the generations, so if you're a fan of first-generation creatures, you'll be glad to know you can find them throughout the game.
There's also the new player search system, which allows you to see other nearby Pokemon players or friends and randoms who are currently playing online. I quite liked that you could quickly start up a trade or a battle, or give them temporary stat boosts called O-Powers.
EV training has been slightly revamped as well. Instead of searching for that specific Pokemon to defeat over and over to boost one of your stats, you can now play mini-games through the new Super Training section, which is much simpler. And experience share isn't a holdable item anymore, but gives experience to your whole party without reducing the amount of experience the front Pokemon gets. Oh, it's so good not to have to level grind anymore.
Yeah, I think they've streamlined the whole experience, and I think this is the quickest save we've seen in a Pokemon game too. But I still found that after a fight, and just generally, there's a lot to click through and a lot of menus that have to come up and go away, and I think all of that can be much faster.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm just so used to clicking through all the text boxes from the previous games that I didn't really notice it that much. The bag could do with some work though. The items section is one big long list of everything from stat boosting items to Pokeballs, and it can take a while to find the one you're actually looking for. What I did love though was the music. It still feels very much like Pokemon, but with a much fuller orchestra.
Yeah, I do agree the music is better, but I still don't like it very much. I just find it a bit repetitive. I am glad that they've upgraded the sounds of all the Pokemon cries though. Final thoughts, Hex?
Well, as always, it's such a massive game with a deep combat system and even features we haven't touched on yet, like Pokemon Ami. There's also the Pokemon Bank and the whole competitive side. I think Poke fans and newcomers alike won't be disappointed, so I'm giving this 8.5.
Yes, I definitely have Pokemon fever. I love this. I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens. In fact, we've enjoyed Pokemon so much that we've done a bit of cosplay around the office, haven't we?
Oh, affirmative. We make quite the team, don't we?
We do.
I think Goose just needs to evolve a bit. Ah, Bajo, I've always wanted to battle you.
I agree, let's fight.
Goose, I choose you! Come on, Goose, try and get into character.
Don't know why I couldn't have been the trainer.
Darren, I choose you.
Darren! Darren!
Yep. Okay.
Darren!
Do the noise.
Pika Pika?
Darren!
My laser was super effective. I think he really has fainted.
Goodness, I think I'm all Pokeballed out.
Me too, Darren.
But we should all go recharge our batteries because next week in the show we're going to be traveling through the alternate realities of Nowhere Boys.
Plus, there's a new Sonic. It's called Sonic Lost World.
It looks like they've taken quite a bit of inspiration from Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, yes, I do hope it is as good as that, Darren. Fingers crossed.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.